In this next scenario, we're also dealing with a choke that's delivered from the front. The attacker is applying a very strong choke to the front of the throat. But unlike the other exercise that we've presented, this exercise relies less on instinct, but provides for a stronger defense. In this position, I'm attacking Marnie, again from the front. My hands are firmly around her throat, and my thumbs are pressing on the trachea. Marnie's going to make a rotational defense, causing a lock on my wrist. She's going to clear the hands and follow up with counterattacks. In this view, we can see the attack applied to Marnie. The hands are around her throat. Marnie quickly steps back and is making a rotational move to free the hands, dropping her elbow to clear the hands from her throat, attacking immediately with elbows to the throat or the chin, catching the attacker, and delivering knees or kicks to vulnerable areas such as the groin. She can follow up with additional hand attacks if needed, or elbows. Here she's free to leave the scene. In this view, you can see the choke firmly applied to Marnie's throat. The defensive action will include Marnie bursting backwards quickly, raising her arm and rotating her body. The inside of her arm stays close to her head and ear area. This allows the defense to clear the attack at the wrist or back of the hands. Once this is accomplished, Marnie will drop her elbow to clear the hands from her face area, following up with counterattacks such as a quick elbow to the chin or throat. When the head moves further back, Marnie will apply hammer fist punches to the neck, grabbing the attacker and delivering sharp knee strikes to the groin area. When it's safe to do so, she will flee the scene. To break the exercise down for learning purposes, you'll see the exercise in its various stages. The first stage is the choke is applied to Marnie's throat. Immediately, Marnie is going to step back and raise the opposite hand. She's stepping back on her left leg and raising her right hand. This will allow her to rotate. If you notice, when she steps back, she's maintaining at least a shoulder distance spread between the legs. This allows her body to rotate and cross the plane of the attack. Also notice her arm. Her arm stays with the bicep close to the ear, so it'll cross the attacker's hands at the back of his wrist or hands. This is stage one. Once she goes back into stage one, stage two is then applied. You notice Marnie's hand is raised. That hand will drop to clear the attacker's hands. If possible, Marnie will use her other hand to trap the attacker's hands on her chest. This will, so to speak, make handcuffs, which will not allow the attacker to remove his hands from Marnie's area. If he pulls on the hands, it'll bring Marnie in, and Marnie will come into the attacker with many elbows, hammer fist strikes, and follow up with the last stage, grabbing the attacker and delivering sharp knees to the groin area. Stage one, arm raised in the rotation. Stage two, clear the hands and trap the hands. Stage three, elbow strikes. Stage four, hammer fist punches. The last stage, grab the attacker and deliver knee strikes. When it's free and it's safe, leave the scene.
In this next scene, we see the rotational defense against a choke applied in a different context. Chokes do not always occur while you're standing in your place. The choker can be pushing you backwards, and if this occurs, your weight will be back, our arms up from having fallen backwards, and in a position unable to make a plucking type of defense. Our choice is to make the rotational defense. The rotational defense will clear the hands from the throat without a plucking motion. The hands are then cleared, counterattacks can follow, and then once it's safe to do so, the defender can leave the scene.
In this next scenario, we're going to deal with a threat that basically is a choke from the rear in the place. In this particular defense, however, we're not doing an instinctive reaction like a plucking defense. The defender accomplishes the defense by making a quick rotation of the body, freeing the hands that are around his neck, and continuing with various attacks. The reason for this variation is that there may be a tactical reason why the defender wants to change his relationship in position to the attacker. And second of all, this type of turning or rotational defense does give the defender more power. The attack will be applied, and as usual, I will be applying the pressure to the front of Michael's throat. In this case, because the choke comes from the rear, my fingers will be applying pressure to the front of Michael's throat. In examining this exercise, you'll note that once the attack is made, Michael will be stepping forward, and as he steps forward, his hand comes up, staying close to his ear. Michael makes a quick rotation, clearing the hands, and attacking immediately with the hammer fist to the attacker. He comes back and counterattacks with an overhand right punch, and now is in a position to grab the attacker and offer various knee strikes and any further hand strikes as needed. As the choke is applied to Michael, his first reaction will be to raise his arm and step. Note how close his arm is to his face. As he turns, the attacker's hands will be moved from his throat and neck area. Michael then can follow up with an immediate hammer fist down on the attacker and an overhand right, changing his position slightly, his weight in the counterattacks. From this point, he can grab the attacker and deliver sharp knee strikes to vulnerable parts on the attacker's body.
Go.
Here, Rex, the attacker, applies the choke to Michael's throat. Michael is making the defense by stepping forward and raising his hand immediately, keeping the hand very close to his ear. As he rotates, he will cut across the hands of the attacker, freeing his throat, coming down with an immediate hammer fist to the face, head, or neck of the attacker, following with an overhand right as he steps in, following up with knee strikes as he's grabbing and pulling the attacker forward, and another overhand right. He can retreat from the scene at this point. In order to learn the exercise, Michael's going to break down the technique in its logical steps. First of all, we assume that the attack has been placed around Michael's throat. He's going to step forward to create some distance, rotating very harshly, keeping his hand very close to his head area. The inside of his bicep is almost pressed against his ear. This position will allow him to free the hands that are around his throat by crossing at the attacker's wrists or the back of the attacker's hands. Michael's already in a position with his raised hand to deliver a downward hammer fist blow, stepping and giving an overhand right punch, stepping in further to deliver a series of sharp knee blows to vulnerable targets on the attacker's body. If further counterattacks are needed, he's in a position to do so. And when it's necessary or when it's appropriate, Michael can retreat from the scene. Here we present a variation on the rotational defense for a choke that occurs from behind. Here the attacker is pushing the defender forward. The same defense is applied and the same counterattacks follow.